Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to show you 7 knots that I find essential for freshwater fishing. The first knot I want to show you is a simple clinch knot. This knot works very well on your mono and your fluorocarbon, and it works great for your smaller hooks. This is a little bit bigger and it's a different type of hook than what I would normally use, but it's going to be great to show you on. So what you want to do is you want to go through the eye of the hook, give yourself plenty of slack. And there's 2 ways that you can do this, and I find both to be effective. You can take the tag end and loop it around, and you want to go at least 5. You want to do more if you have a smaller line. So if you're doing a 6X or a 7X for fly fishing, you want to do a few more loops on that. What I find easiest for me is to spin the actual hook itself. So I'll spin it 5 times, and you want to make sure they're complete spins. Grab that tag end and you want to push it back down through that loop that you made in the line. Once you've done that, you want to make sure to pull it tight. It works a lot better if you moisten the knot. And it should give you a nice tight knot. And then you want to clip that little tag end off. Next up, we have the improved clinch knot. The benefit of going with the improved instead of just the regular clinch knot is it increases the knot strength itself. So if you have a higher strength of line, then you're going to want to use the improved clinch knot. So just like the regular clinch knot, you want to do your 5 or more loops. Go down through the loop that you made in the line. And the difference here is you want to go back. You've now made a loop. You want to go back through that. And then pull it tight just like you did with the clinch knot. There you go. And it makes a nice tight knot. And again, clip that tag end off right there. The clinch knots are very simple and effective ways to tie hooks onto your line. There are a lot more knots that you can use. Depends on what you want to do for the type of fishing. However, those are just your basic simple ones that work really well. Another great knot to tie your line to your hook is the Snell knot. And I use that more on your mustads or your octopus hooks like this. So what you want to do is go down through the eye of your hook. And with this, you want to give yourself a lot of extra slack. Make a nice loop. And I like to do 7 full loops around the shaft of the hook. Some people like to do more, some people like to do less. Go back down through the loop that you made earlier. And you want to slowly pull on the line going towards your trap or your reel or whatever you're using, while keeping tension on your tag end. So what I do is I go around the hook itself and hold that nice and tight while I pull this tight. Then once you get the knot itself tight, let go of your tag end, make sure not to hook yourself, and pull that up, and then tighten it from there. Next, I want to show you the perfection loop or the perfection knot. This works great for making a loop that you can put onto one of those quick connect clasps, or it works great for connecting a loop leader to a fly line that has a welded loop. So you want to give yourself plenty of room with this one. Make a loop, but you want the loop to go behind itself. Once you've done that, come in front of that big loop Try and spread it out as best as you can, and then loop in between those two loops. So you should have a bigger loop, a smaller loop. Now go in between those. Reach through your bigger loop to grab your smaller loop. And you want to pull that tight. One way to know that it's effective is when you pull on this loop up here, it doesn't slide. And again, clip that tag end. Up next, I have the double or triple surgeons, and I use this to hook tippet to my leader. So you want to cross over. So this end would be going to your tippet. This end would be your leader. Cross over, and you want to give yourself a couple inches. You want to make a large loop, and I always try to put the tippet end behind the leader end. Once you've made that, you want to go down through the loop that you've created. Go down once, straighten out your loop. For the double, you're going to go down twice. If you want to do the triple, then go down 3 times. If you can't get your line through that, you can also use some forceps and pull it through. Then once you have that, you want to pull it tight. And again, all knots work better when they're moistened. Pull that tight, and then you want to clip off your leader tag end and your tippet tag end, and it will leave you with a nice tight knot that will go through your eyelets. Next up, we have the blood knot. And this knot works great if you're putting your backing to your fly line or backing to another line. So you want to line these two up, your backing in your fly line or your backing in your regular line. You want to make a quick square knot. So loop that around. Go back through. Pull it tight. And this knot doesn't have to be perfect. Once you have your square knot made, you want to make a loop with your 2 lines. Give yourself a little bit of space. And then you want to reach down and you want to grab one of your lines, pull it up above, and then continue to do that. I like to go at least 7 times. Some people like to do more. And it will create a larger knot if you do more. So I lost count, but what you want to do next is pull your square knot up through. Make sure all your tag ends and everything are out. And then you want to pull that tight. So you have your tag ends out. You see your knot starting to form as you pull it tight. And then once that is nice and tight, and it looks like a mess right off, but you have it nice and tight, you have your backing and your fly line on each side. You'll be able to clip this middle piece out, and it will leave you with a nice, smooth looking knot that will flow through your eyelets very easily. And that's what the end result will look like. The next knot I want to show you is the nail knot. It's similar to the blood knot. It holds your backing to whatever line you want to use. In my case, it's usually the backing to the fly line. The big downfall with this knot is it takes either a tool or a nail or a dowel or straw to tie this. So what you want to do is take, in this case, this is going to be the line that I use, put that down through, and you want to make sure that you have a hefty amount past it. Then you want to take your backing, and again, in this case, you want to make sure that you have a fair amount that you can work with. So you keep that down through there. Put your line in on top of that. And I like to do 7 loops around it. Once you've made your loops, go up through the tool get that nice and tight. And then you want to pull on your other end and it will slide it down for you. Then you neaten it up. Once you have it nice and tight, you clip off your tag ends, and then you have a nice smooth knot that goes through your eyes of your rod. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a great time fishing.